أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نويت التعلم وتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وبسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وتعالي الهدى والدلالة على الخير الصغار والحلة ومرضاته وقربه وكماله سبحانه وتعالى رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ويا واسع الكرم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, over the next few weeks on Wednesday and Wednesday we're going to cover the book Etiquettes with the Quran. In Arabic it's called Tibyan fi Adab Hamalat the Quran. It's a very important topic in the sense that in the day and age we live in, we do not have the respect for the Quran. Too often we see the Quran is being thrown around, left on shelves, But this book is not just about the physical. It's also covering the etiquettes of the student, etiquettes of the teacher, the etiquettes of your place, all of these different aspects. So it's not just one thing or another. Due to time, we won't be able to go through each single chapter in detail, but inshallah ta'ala, we're going to try and summarize little by little each section. But I would highly recommend that everybody buy this book. So I try and go through it because it's important and all of the utmost etiquette of the book. It is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran needs to be shown the respect that it is. And yes, mashallah, we've had class on Tajweed and Quran, and that's very, very, very important. You cannot show the respect for the Quran without learning it, without reciting it correctly, the correct pronunciations. The Prophet ﷺ, as a person who, when he would recite the Quran or speak the language of the Arabs, he was the most fluent. And the likes of Umar radiallahu ta'ala would ask him, Rasulullah sallallahu, how is it that your language is so clear, yet you've lived among us? And so he said, because I was in the deserts. And likewise, he also said, because just like Jibreel alayhi salam came and taught Ismail alayhi salam the language of the Arab in its purest form, Jibreel alayhi salam came and taught him. And so if you want to connect with Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you want to connect with the Quran, you have to learn the language of the Quran as well. So it's important to try to take to the language of the Quran as well. And you have a story of Imam al-Shafi'i, rahmatullah alayhi, when he visited the house of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. I won't narrate the whole story, but one of the key parts to take from this is his etiquette with the Quran while sleep. We know that we should sleep on our right side, we should sleep facing the Qibla. But because he noticed the Quran was on the left, and it wasn't on the side of the Qibla, he turned and faced the direction of the Quran while sleeping, instead of the direction of the Qibla, to show the importance to the Quran. That's how important the Quran is. And so it's important for us to attach to the Quran, because the Quran is what increases us in our closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we increase in closeness to the Quran, we increase in respect. Whether we see it or not, we do. Why? Because we're preserving the etiquettes with the Quran, with the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, likewise with the words of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Give them the respect and the adab that they deserve. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala naturally transfers the respect that we need. And that's how the awliya that were hidden for so long became known, because of the adab that they showed. It's as simple as that. It's the adab. It wasn't all about learning the rules, it wasn't all about practicing them, it wasn't about the theology, all of these things, but it was also about the adab with every single one of those things, every one of those things, especially with the Quran. So just like Sahaba, they would have a rank with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their ranks were according to their closeness with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Likewise, our rank with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is how we are with the Quran. It's not just how much we read on a daily basis. We could be like robots and read juz after juz after juz. That's mashallah amazing, that's excellent. There's a huge amount of rewards in that, especially in this blessed month of Ramadan. This is the month of the Quran. Okay? However, it's about understanding, it's about reflecting upon it. Because just like, we stop And we send salawat on the Prophet whenever we come across the verses. Likewise, there's verses where we're supposed to stop and ponder. There's verses where you're supposed to respond and give shahada. There's verses where we're supposed to respond with takbir. There's verses you're supposed to repeat. There's verses you're supposed to lower your voice on. And these are all the etiquettes with the Quran. It's a conversation between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Constant conversation. Just like when we're reading Surah Fatiha, we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise is Allah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. We are telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of His station. But then we say, Iyaka na'budu wa Iyaka nasta'in. You alone ask for help. Okay? You alone worship. That's it. Now, we're speaking from us. We're saying, we need you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. That's a conversation, and that's whether we realize it or not. Whenever we read the Quran from beginning to end, there is a conversation. You are speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to you. You're being commanded in certain places, and you're being given recommendations in the places. That's to do with interest, divorce, it's to do with halal, haram, food, whatever it is, you don't realize we actually being commanded in certain places, you're actually being given guidance in other places. The Quran is one of the biggest shifas for any person. So when you find shifa, you have stress of anxiety. The Imam said, read Surah Yusuf. So daily you should read Surah Yasin, Surah Waqi'ah, Surah Mulk, Surah Dukhan. These are all medicines for the heart. Just like you take paracetamol and ibuprofen, and we take our fruits and veggies. Likewise, we need our dosing of the Quran. So you have the likes of Habib Muhammad's Khulasa, in which it tells you at Asr time read this surah, Maghrib time read this surah, at Isha time read this surah before bed, waking, Duha. Every time there's a particular surah that has been prescribed. But we won't know that until we learn more about the Quran and the etiquettes of the Quran. So like I said, Ramadan is the month of the Quran, mashallah. We should all make sure that we take benefit from this. Try and read at least one juz a day. And yeah, it seems like a lot for many of us, but if you break it down, 20 pages, 10 pages after each salah, before each salah, before you know, at the end of the day, you've finished one entire juz, maybe even more. For some people it'll take 30 minutes, 20 minutes, some people it'll take 45, an hour. But we should try and make sure that we read as much Quran in this month as possible. But likewise, take the time to understand it as well. Even if you just take one surah, take Surah Yasin, and for this entire month, maybe you pick up a book, maybe you sit with a sheikh, maybe go on study this one surah, and you say, okay, right, Surah Yasin is going to be my surah this week. This month, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to try and learn and reflect over Surah Yasin. And Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahmatullah alayhi, he had 99 dreams with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in his 100th dream, he asked a question. He said, Ya Allah, how do we become closer to you? Subhanallah. How do we become closer to you? What does it say? Through my word. What does that mean? Through the Quran. Subhanallah. Imam Ahmad rahmatullah saying that. And so, likewise, we see that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the complete embodiment of the Quran. And we know that from Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. Right? And so, if we want to be like Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have to learn the Quran, we have to understand the Quran, we have to connect with the Quran. It's not just a book that we read. If it was just a book, it would be like any other book where we pick it up, we read it, put it back on the shelf. Done. That's it. Never again. Once in a lifetime. This is that book that we don't get bored with. We continue to read this book. It's glorious Quran. We continue to read it day in, day out. It's probably 100% the most read book in the entire world. Why? Because we know that how many Muslims are there on this planet? Billions. Right? If there are that many Muslims, how many of them would be reading the Quran? Even if it's just Fatiha, even if it's just 30 seconds, they're reading the Quran. And so if each one of them read it, or even half of them read it, already became the most read book on this planet. Okay? That's how important this book is, and it's not just that it's being read, it's being listened to. So if somebody hasn't read it, they've listened to it. They've listened to it. There's been people who have written it. Countless Qur'ans are being written. Nowadays, in the technology that we have, it's been printed. But how many people wrote it before that? So, over the 1400 years or so. SubhanAllah. And so often we forget the might of this Qur'an. We forget that people have studied this book for years and years, and we live today, and the way we live today, the way we practice today, is because of the Qur'an, because of the Hadith, because of the ulama who put this together, who helped us understand it. And unlike the other books, over time, the Qur'an has not changed. SubhanAllah. It has not changed, not once. Not one bit of revelation since it's been revealed has changed. Whereas other holy books, so-called holy books, in today's day and age, they've changed numerous times. We've had revision upon revision. It's like doing an essay at college. Teacher gives it back, gives you changes, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, that's it. Now, one author's got this version, another author's got that version, another author's got that version. And it's different in every language as well. One language is going to translate it differently, another one in a different language, in a different way. The Quran has been the same, subhanAllah. And even when translated, it's checked and checked and checked before it is sent out. To make sure that it's not different to anything else. SubhanAllah. And one of the things that we find that today, the Quran is needed more to connect with the Quran. But first, we have to have adab with the Quran. We can pick up and read it, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isn't going to allow us to connect with the Quran, isn't going to allow us to communicate with the Quran until we ourselves have adab with the Quran. What is adab? Putting something in its place, giving something its due right. Your parents, having adab with them is important. Don't treat them like your friends on the street. Okay? Likewise, have adab with your clothes. Put them on the hangers. Put them in the washing baskets. Every single thing in this world, you have to have adab. It's simple. It's not you pick and choose. You know, your dishes, when you wash them, they go on where they're supposed to be drying. They don't go, in the microwave or the fridge, they belong there. That's the adab of your dishes. Simple as. But the most important adab you can have is the adab that you have with the Quran. Okay? When you show adab to the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises your ranks. Continues to raise your ranks. That's why this book was written. Because Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi, he saw in his time that the adab with the Quran, that people are disconnecting with the Quran, and the adab for the Quran is also being lost. He could see that in his time, hundreds of years ago, he saw that himself. So what about today's day and age? What is the state of the Ummah today when it comes to the Quran? And so we should connect with the Quran, but we should make sure we have the utmost adab with the Quran. Alhamdulillah, we learn tajweed. Alhamdulillah, we have teachers to teach us tajweed. That's very important. Alhamdulillah, we learn the ahkam from the Quran. Alhamdulillah, we have teachers for that. But likewise, we also have to learn the adab. So inshallah ta'ala, over the next few weeks, on Wednesday and the Thursday, inshallah, we're going to go through chapter by chapter, just summarizing some of the main points that Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi is trying to make and trying to teach us when it comes to the Quran, inshallah ta'ala. Just to finish off, there's a story about the day of resurrection. Each one of us will be raised. And when we open our eyes, we're going to look up and we're going to see a person. And this person is going to be the most beautiful person. We're going to want to attach to this person. We're going to love this person instantly. Or this person is going to be the most scary, ugly, smelly person we're going to see. Okay? That person is our Quran. That person is our Quran. It will come in a literal form, and it will also intercede for us. And our connection and our relationship and our adab with the Quran in this world is what's going to justify and portray how Quran will come to us on that. Simple as that. And so it's of the utmost importance that we try to understand the importance of the Quran, just as we understand the importance of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. and having a respect towards this book, inshallah ta'ala.
Sure.
And so over the next few weeks, inshallah, we're going to go through chapter by chapter and just summarizing, inshallah. Small durs. If we have more time, inshallah, we would cover it in more detail, but inshallah, due to time and due to constraints and due to the Ramadan, inshallah, we're going to just try and take as much benefits from this book as we can. And if anybody is looking for a translation of the Quran, there is a new translation by Sheikh Mohammed Khaled called the Quran Behind, which you can get hold of. Probably one of the best translations so far in English. Verse by verse, he tries to explain every single word in the Arabic into English in as much detail as possible. It's close to the Arabic as well. And often that can be lost in translation. So if anybody is looking for a translation, that's what you can get from Wednesday publication. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
Jazakallah. Jazakallah.
اللهم صل